everybody. Welcome back to Goodnight, Lighthouse. I'm Miss Dorothy, and I'm here to read you another story. In fact, believe it or not, I'm here to read you another Pete the Cat story. Every time I go to the library, I find more and more Pete the Cat books, and I know how much you like them, so I get them. I get as many as I can. And tonight, it's a really groovy book, because it's called Pete the Cat and his 4 groovy buttons. Pete the Cat and his 4 groovy buttons. Pete has 4 buttons on his outfit, and he really likes them because they're super groovy. But what happens when they start popping off? We're gonna have to get into this book and find out. Are you ready to get into this book with Miss Dorothy and find out about Pete the Cat's 4 groovy buttons? Good. I need you to sit up and listen up, because here we go. Pete the Cat and his 4 groovy buttons. Written by Eric Litwin. Created by James Dean. Pete the Cat put on his favorite shirt with 4 big, colorful, round, groovy buttons. He loved his buttons so much, he sang this song. My buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. My buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. Wow, Pete really does love his buttons. Pop! Oh no! One of the buttons popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? 3. Pete had 4. Take away 1 equals 3 groovy buttons. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. Buttons come and buttons go. He kept on singing his song. My buttons, my 3 groovy buttons. My buttons, my 3 groovy buttons. Groovy, says Pete. Pop! Oh no! Another button popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? How many does he have now? 2. 3 buttons minus 1 button equals 2 buttons. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. Buttons come and buttons go. He kept on singing his song. My buttons, my 2 groovy buttons. My buttons, my 2 groovy buttons. Wow, Pete loves those buttons. Pop! Oh no! Another button popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? 1. 2 buttons minus 1 button equals 1 button. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. Buttons come and buttons go. He kept on singing his song. My buttons, my 1 groovy button. My button, my 1 groovy button. Pop! Oh no! The last button popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? 0. 1 minus 1 equals 0. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. Buttons come and buttons go. Pete looked down at his buttonless shirt, and what do you think he saw? His belly button, and he kept on singing his song. It's all good. My button, I still have my belly button. My button, I still have my belly button. I guess it simply goes to show you that stuff will come and stuff will go. But do we cry? Goodness, no. We keep on singing. Buttons come and buttons go. Wow, that was a really good Pete the Cat book. Pete really liked his buttons, but they kept popping off. I mean, every time he did something, pop, pop, pop. And we kept having to subtract. 4 minus 1 is 3, 3 minus 1 is 2, 2 minus 1 is 1, and 1 minus 1 is 0. He had no more buttons. Or did he? Because when all his buttons were gone and he looked down, what did he see? His belly button that goes everywhere with him, and that's kind of groovy. I liked this book. I like Pete's attitude. His buttons popped off, but he didn't let it get him down. He just kept going on. Pete's a really groovy guy, just like you. I think you're a really groovy guy too, and a really groovy girl. But now I need all my groovy cats to get into bed. It's time for you to get under those covers, get cuddled up, curled up, ready for a really good night's sleep, and give Mom and Dad lots of hugs and kisses. What else are you supposed to do every day? Obey, and obey right away. And then come back and see Miss Dorothy. I'm going to be sitting right here, ready to read another book to you. Bye! Thanks for reading with Miss Dorothy. I hope you enjoyed this book, and I hope you'll come back soon to read another. What's your favorite book? Drop Miss Dorothy a note and let me know. I'll go find it and I'll read it to you. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share. I'll see you soon.